Hi everyone, I'm the whiskey enthusiast. Welcome back to my channel. Today we have the Battle Royale. Now, if you like repeated whiskies, if you like Ardbeg, and if you've not been living under a rock, I'm sure you've come across the question, which one you prefer, Uigedail or Corryvreckan? We have Team Ugi and we have Team Corry. It's always been a thing. It's a thing in my whiskey group. We actually did a poll. One of them won by a little margin, but it's been going on for a while, and people's opinions are divided. So I thought, why not? Why the hell not? Let's just do them head to head instead of just doing it separate reviews. Let's just give them a head to head battle. Let's get ready to rumble. What are they? What do we have? We have Uigedail. Show you the bottle. Uigedail is, I'll give you a little bit of literature. Ardbeg Uigedail takes its name from the brooding, mysterious loch which provides the peat-laden water for Ardbeg. This is a special vatting of different styles of Ardbeg, marrying together traditional deep smoky notes with the luscious sweet raisiny tones of old ex-sherry casks. That's it. Doesn't say anything about the ex-sherries, which kind of sherries, but first fill, second fill, but it's a vatting of ex-bourbon and ex-sherry. And this is supposed to be treacle bacon bonfires. Bottled at 54.2% ABV, non-chill filtered and natural color. Again, they don't say natural color, but I think Ardbegs are generally natural color. Now, we have the Corryvreckan. See the whirlpool there? Named after the second biggest whirlpool in the world, it will probably say. To the north of Islay and Jura is the world's second largest whirlpool, the famous Corryvreckan. Our Celtic ancestors knew it as Mother Goddess or Womb of all creation. Today, this thunderous seething cauldron is named after the Viking Prince Brecon, who perished there, proving his devotion to the daughter of the Lord of the Isles, also another Ardbeg release, which I have not tried. Ardbeg, like Corryvreckan, is not for the faint-hearted. And Ardbeg Corryvreckan is a heady, intense, and powerful expression, swirling aromas on torrents of deep, peaty, peppery taste. Lurked beneath the surface of this beautifully balanced dram is the epitome of Ardbeg, the untamed spirit of Islay. Nowhere, anywhere, it doesn't say anything about chill filtration or color, but thankfully, we can see if it has any. Okay, both of them are natural color, and obviously this one's also natural. Non-chill filtered. Now, these are considered cask strength, but they're not because it doesn't say cask strength anywhere. So we can't assume that they're cask strength. Oh, by the way, this is 57.1% ABV. That's the Corryvreckan. And the Uigedail is 54.2% ABV. And Corryvreckan is, as far as I know, a vatting of ex-bourbon and French Limousin oak. I don't think it's a finishing. And French oak has more grain in it, and grain doesn't necessarily mean that cereal. In wood, it means the rings, and the tighter the grain, the less flavor the wood would impart, but it would impart those peppery and a bit more bitter notes to the whiskey, and combined with Ardbeg's pepperiness, it's a hefty one. Now, these are both very, very high ABV whiskies. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try them without the water, because I always say water gives you something, but takes something else. So water giveth and taketh away. It might open up the nose for you, but it might kill the palate. It might open up the palate for you, but the nose just goes complete flat. So I'm just going to nose them without any water, taste them, and then maybe I'll play around with water, and let's end this debate for once and for all, shall we? Look at me, putting a lot of importance on myself over this big debate in the whiskey world. Listen to me, guys. I'm going to end this debate right now. All right. I got the Uigedail here, and I got the Corryvreckan here. Color-wise, very similar, but Uigedail is it's black. It doesn't work, does it? Uigedail is this is the Uigedail, a bit more darker. That's the sherry cask. Okay, so on the nose, the Uigedail. Sweet peat, sweet peat. Very briny, peaty, nutty. I get strawberries. Oh, I get nice pineapple. Burnt pineapple. The zestiness of Ardbeg is in the background, but it's there. But very sweet. And I read somewhere this is Oloroso, which I do not like, but I could have said, is it PX? It feels that sweet, but thankfully the peat kills that Oloroso. It is high though. You can feel the alcohol burn. And a flat cork note I usually get with rum cask finish whiskies. All right. This is a good way to smell yourself. Is a good way to reset your nose, because you can't actually smell yourself. It's a neutral smell for you. This is a way to clear your nose. It's that classic thing they give you at some vineyards or distilleries, coffee. But okay, Corryvreckan on the nose. Right, much more minerally. Black pepper up front. There's a bit creaminess there. Milky, wet cardboard. Soda water, seltzer water. Cracked black and white pepper. A bit milky note, which is weird. I get no sweetness. It's a minerally fresh, but in a way milky note. It's almost like, I know it doesn't exist, but it's almost like there's like milk soda, if it does exist. It doesn't, but there's like a milk soda. It's fresh, bubbly, but there's a bit of a milky note to it. Now, let's dive into the palate for the Uigedail. Very well balanced. The peat is there, but it's incredibly balanced with a lot of sweetness, a lot of treacle. You get a lot of maple, molasses, honey, nutty. Oh, that's pretty. I don't think it needs water. That's the thing, guys. Water, rule is, there is no rule. If you can drink it, if you can get the nuances, then it doesn't need water. You can always play it around. It's a nice education, but you gotta be careful with it. So it's a delicate topic, but very sweet, all round off with peat, obviously, but almost like putting a you know what I get? I get nice charred toasted bread, but big toasted bread, right, on barbecue, and you put a nice dab of honey over it with cracked peppers or chilies. It's very pretty, very, very pretty. Now I'm gonna use that water I was gonna do for droplets to cleanse the mouth. Drop my droplet. I don't know if I'll use it. Let's see. Now on to the palate of Corry. The Corryvreckan. That creaminess is on the palate as well. It's much more peppery than the Uigedail. It's much more straightforward. It's not flat. Flat is not the word I'm looking for. But if Uigedail is rounded, Corryvreckan is cornered. Oh, but the finish. The creaminess of the Corryvreckan is incredible. So, remember that analogy of charred bread on the barbecue, put a lot of honey on? Same bread, but instead of honey, you put a lot of butter. So you get the creaminess of the butter with a lot of charred notes. And then maybe you sprinkle a little bit of, or you grate a little bit of Parmesan on it. It's maybe a little bit of dab of honey. So it's very little sweet, but a lot of creamy with a little bit of a sour, salty note. Very interestingly, the sweet note on the Uigeadail is coming across as more alcohol bite, carrying the flavors, which is actually, there's about 3% less alcohol in the Corryvreckan. But the Uigeadail is 3% less in Uigeadail, and but the Corryvreckan is coming up as more interesting, more fresh. Well, not interestingly, because it doesn't have any sherry cask in it. More fresh, more zesty, but also a bit more robust. Now, classic pineapple note of Ardbeg is there, but it's back in the back palate, and the palate is, it's just beautiful. It's just so nice. It's a very robust, peaty, hefty, zesty, vibrant, and bubbly Islay whiskey. Whereas the Uigeadail gives you the sweetness up front on the nose, on the palate, and then the finish just lets go a bit. Whereas the Ardbeg Corryvreckan in the nose and the palate doesn't give that much sweetness, but in the end it just leaves you with cracked black pepper and nice sweet notes. And Uigeadail, honestly, if I was doing this blind, I would say this is PX. Yeah, a lot of sweetness is there. I mean, it's almost overpowering the peat. That's how sweet it is. Kind of feels like PX or wine casky, because there's a little bit of sour note in here as well. But I'm getting it more on the Corryvreckan. And you know what? My palate might be shot with the or the ABVs, but I don't think you need water for it. I might give it a shot, but you know, I'll increase the speed just for you. I'll give them a same amount. Okay, I did give them same amount. And shout out to the whiskey scribe, Nath. I think he's suffering with a blown out palate where he doesn't feel the ABV. I think, he did a blind taste where he was like, yeah, it feels like between 40 and 50. It turned out to be like 63 or something. So, cheers, my man. I feel you. I feel you. All right, after water. I know this video is dragging on a bit, so I'll try to keep it as short as possible. After water, the alcohol just kept more, and the ethanol is burning more. And this is why I don't like water. I would rather sip slowly than add water. And what the water did, killed the nose completely on the Uigeadail, increased the bitter notes on the palate, sweetness fell back, and the peppery notes and the ginger notes came much forward. I preferred it without the water. Let's give the Corryvreckan one last shot, and then weirdly it opened a little bit of a sweetness on the nose, and on the palate the black pepper now dominates, with a lot of minerally and gingery notes. Came very sweet, very spicy. Sweetness is gone. My mouth is burning. from the spice, the black pepper and the white pepper. Like I said, guys, I'm not a big fan of adding water. Now, who won for me? I'm gonna recommend both of them, 3 Glencairns. They're both brilliant whiskeys. But for me, Corryvreckan takes the lead. I think it's a better whiskey. I think it's a heftier whiskey. My palate picks Corryvreckan. What does yours do? Let me know in the comments. If you like this button, hit that like whiskey. If you like this review, hit that like button. And please tell me, Team Corry or Team Ugi? Which one are you? And let's talk. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.